Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we want to check out XLM's price chart and see what is going on in the short term and what might be the next likely move. But before we get into that, let's real quick talk about this important article. You see, most people in crypto still are waiting for the moment that blockchain actually goes mainstream. And we're not talking about like the kind of mainstream, like for example, tech savvy friend bought some Bitcoin type. No, we are talking about mainstream, like for example, your grandmother uses it without even knowing it exists. That moment, believe it or not, might be quite a bit closer than most people realize, and Stellar just dropped this important piece of evidence to back that up. The question here is whether the market actually pays attention to, and right now I think the answer to that is a resounding no, since nobody right now at least is interested in the crypto space. But I think when the attention comes back to this space, we are going to witness some interesting waves of price appreciation for XLM. Now, here is the thing that nobody in this industry likes to admit. You see, tokenizing an asset was never truly the hard part. You can have a money market fund that settles in seconds, pays yields every single day, and costs almost nothing to move, and it still goes nowhere if the person who should own it has to download a crypto wallet first. Not a lot of people are interested in doing that, and that, I would argue, is the true wall that the industry has been hitting for many years constantly. The technology at this point is absolutely solid. However, getting it in front of real people is actually where everything sort of kind of breaks down. Now, XLM's argument here is very much straightforward. Stop building applications that ask users to come to crypto space and start putting crypto rails inside the applications that people already are using. Okay, very important. And for example, think of how the Zelle network actually works. You see, banks, they didn't really each of them build their own peer-to-peer payment application. No, none of that. They funded one shared rail and embedded it inside every single banking app that they already had. And that is the exact model that a seller is pushing for tokenized assets, and they have a real concrete example to show for it. You see, in case you missed it, on June 2nd, basically about 2 months ago, MoneyGram launched MGUSD, which is, pay attention please, a dollar stablecoin built natively on a seller, embedded directly inside the MoneyGram application. No separate wallet, no new interfaces, no explaining what a blockchain actually is. Just a dollar balance inside an application that over 60 million people across more than 200 countries on a regular basis. The customer in here just simply sees a dollar, they see a transfer, and they never ever see the chain underneath. And that is again exactly what invisible infrastructure looks like when it is actually fully working. And this is actually the type of adoption that is going to bring a whole lot of volume to your chain, and also it's going to make you a very good amount of money. Now, as my final point, you should note that two major regulatory doors have also cracked open recently. Number one, the CFTC now allows tokenized money market funds as collateral for futures and swaps, confirmed by a report involving BlackRock, JP Morgan, Citibank, and also Franklin Templeton. Number two, rule changes around dealers are actually making it possible for third parties to distribute tokenized products instead of just issuers handling everything themselves. So I would argue this is yet another great point going in a seller's favor, and it is actually going to probably bring them a good bit more adoption as well. So if you got time, I would highly suggest to actually give this article a read yourself. You are going to find a lot of interesting points in it, and you are going to slowly but surely realize why XLM is actually a solid project and it does have a bright future. And there's a very high chance that in the long run, we are going to witness a huge wave of price appreciation for XLM. So that was the fundamental picture. A network positioning itself as invisible financial plumbing for mainstream finance, with real partnerships, real users, and with real regulatory tailwinds moving in the same direction. But fundamentals, the thing is, they actually tell you why. The charts will probably tell you when, and this is why we want to also when it comes to checking a project, not only check out fundamentals, but also see what is going on in terms of technicals as well. With all that said, now let's go on XLM's chart and see what is happening in the short and also long term. Okay, here we are. If you remember the last time that we talked about XLM, I think we were probably right around these areas, and the idea was that odds are this move to the downside in XLM may continue a little bit more, and in an ideal scenario, we really do not want to see XLM taking this very important low about, let's say, 16.8 cents, since at that point, this may be possible 1-2 scenario, suggesting the next move is going to be a huge one on the upside, is kind of going to get invalidated. And what happened? Yep, unfortunately, in the recent phase down, as you can see, yep, with absolute authority, we have taken the loss. Now, I want to be very clear. This doesn't necessarily mean that in a stellar we should be now overwhelmingly bearish, since we do actually have a decent bit of support right in here. So I do think as long as we are not getting a break of this thing, downsides are limited. Now, however, no, I don't really think that I should argue this is a 1-2 structure. Instead, okay, this could be, I guess, a bit of a WXY in form of, yeah, probably a double zigzag. I still honestly do believe that this is most likely an ABC zigzag down with all the subwaves, but let's just delete. There we go, delete these things so we can see the structures a little bit better. So far, I believe this is ABC down, followed by a WXY on the upside. And this can be, I think, yeah, most likely yet another ABC down. And I'm going to stick with this count, suggesting overall we are having a correction from the highest high in here, about 29.5 cents, as long as I'm not proven otherwise. When is it that I'm going to be proven otherwise? God forbid if we go down and just take the lows in here about, let's say, 14 cents area. Now, that is a little bit too late to admit that I was wrong, so I'm just going to, for now, again, pay attention to this important area of support. Are we going to get a confirmed break of this thing or not? If we get one, and by that I mean we go under here, do a slow pullback, and then have another move down, the moment we take the lows, unfortunately, guys, since under here we really do not have like a whole lot of strong supports, I'm going to flip maybe a little bit bearish and argue our move down in XLM is going to continue a bit more, possibly even in it we are going to take the lowest low down here about 14 cents area. Is that going to be such a bad sign in like very short term? Yeah, could be, no problem. However, the thing is, overall in the long run, since I am fundamentally bullish on this project and also technical wise we are looking extremely optimistic, I generally view any kind of significant move to the downside as just a huge buying opportunity in order to just get my average purchase as low as possible. So if we end up having in short term a bit of a move to the downside, fair enough, we could, I guess, be a little bit upset. However, the thing is, we shouldn't really let the short term price action fool us into believing that overall we are looking terrible, because we are really not. Let's go on weekly time frame and tell you why I believe in XLM we are looking truly wonderful. You see, in the long run, I believe we are having this initial bull run, a wave 1, correction for 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave with all the sub waves into wave 3, and then from the highest high we can actually consider different possibilities. For example, you could very well argue this is like maybe a WXY into wave 4, and then we are having a 1-2 which is on a lower degree relative to this red 1-2 in here. And the idea is in the next phase in XLM we are going to have a massive move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5 in order to complete the sub waves for this thing right in here, this red wave 5. And if this scenario is going to play out, we are only and only in the next cycle going to have this phase up into our wave 3. Okay, very important to understand. And you should, by the way, note that Elliott's wave suggests wave 3 in most cases, not all the time, because naturally there is no certainty in any market, but in most cases, yeah, wave 3 is actually a rather strong and sharp move on the upside. Hence why I told you earlier, in XLM we are looking truly wonderful. Now, what if something else is going on? Then okay, at that point I'm going to entertain the idea of having a triangle structure. There we go. And in terms of Elliott waves, we call it an A, B, C, D, E. Now, here's a very important point. Pay attention, please. You have seen this pattern many, many times. And for example, the last time that we got something like this in a crypto project, do you remember which project was it? Yep, I think you do. It was actually XRP. Let's go on Ripple's chart and see what is going on. You see, in Ripple, starting from the highest side in here about, let's say, $3.50 area to all the way down here about, let's say, roughly around 40 cents region. In about 7 years, we had this god-awful consolidation, and I do think there's a chance that this was possibly an A, B, C, D, E, a triangular structure in terms of Elliott waves, and even if in terms of Elliott waves this wasn't really a triangle, I think you could have very much argued that in terms of classic DA, 100% this was a triangular structure. And what happened the moment that we got a massive breakout? As you can see, in about, let's say, only 4 or 5 weeks, we got this huge phase from the lows about 50 to about the highs around $3 area. Basically, this was like a 600% move up. Yep, a 580-590% move on the upside, again, in just 40 days, which was absolutely beautiful. And back then, if you were around, you realized that, yep, this phase actually drove a lot of XRP haters absolutely crazy, and I really loved it. In XLM, I think we are having the same situation. If I just go back on the chart, there we go. I do think we are having this beautiful triangular structure, which is going to result to what? A massive move on the upside. And when we get our breakout, I think our move up is going to continue at quite a bit of a rapid pace. And I think for the target, yeah, a $2 XLM is really not that unrealistic to think about if you consider the market cap, which at that point, sure, we are going to crack the top 10, but we're not really going to end up being like a huge player. We're not going to be even close to XRP or Solana. We are going to be big, which I think XLM fully deserves it, but we're not going to be really that huge. Hence why $2 area, yeah, I think could be a very lucky target. So as you can see, in the long run, we are looking extremely bullish. And I do think long-term consolidations like this, in most cases, will end up in a beautiful extension. And based on the fundamentals of Stellar Lumen, I don't really think that XLM token in here is going to be an exception to that equation. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.